よし、皆さん、こんにちは。そして、こんばんは。リオです。たまー。Hello, everybody. I've completely forgotten to put my eye drops in, so let me just do that for like 2 seconds. I've been staring at my screen the whole entire day. Hold on. Ah. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Happy Saturday. You don't really see me on a Saturday, but happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Also, Dave, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Lord Toller Eden text. I shall receive your text. I shall receive your text with love. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. How are you guys doing on this Saturday? It's becoming, I feel like it's becoming normal for you guys to sometimes see me on a Saturday now. At least like once a month. Once a month? Once a month. How are you guys doing? It's the Saturday, so it's the weekend. So you gotta chill on the weekend. You're working on the weekend? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As long as it's chill though, you know. As long as it's chill and you're not being thrown like too much stuff in one go. It should be good. It should be good. But no. What has everybody else been up to on the Saturday? I know it's only like the afternoon for a lot of you guys. Afternoon? Afternoon. Yeah. I think it's mostly the afternoon for a lot of you guys, but hopefully it hasn't been too bad, guys. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad. I finally had time to wind down from work today, and I finally started playing Marvel Rivals. I finally had time to start a new game, and I'm finally playing Marvel Rivals, guys. It's another game that I might potentially get into. Oh no. All the shooter games are just coming my way now. All the shooter games are coming my way. You're going through Girls Frontline 2 current event. I have heard a bit about Girls Frontline 2. It's been popping up on my it's been popping up on my timeline a little bit recently. At least the art for it. And it looks good. It looks really, really good. I don't really know much about it, but you know. It's there. It's there. Yay. You've been enjoying it so far? Good. Grinding on Genshin, I think you're working on Nikkei. I mean, I have nothing against Nikkei. I have nothing against Nikkei. No. But no. I actually for the first, well, not for the first time, but like I haven't logged into Genshin for like a couple days now, so I actually logged into Genshin today to do my dailies, and I just realized that I potentially might not have enough to pull for Sitlali, which is not good. It's not gonna be good if I can't pull for Sitlali, because I want to pull for Sitlali. I do kind of want to pull for Malvika, but like I kind of want to sit Lolly more than Malvika. See, I want an Archon. I want an Archon, but at the same time, I want sit Lolly. So, because I heard her kit is potentially kind of like I heard her kit is gonna potentially be like Layla's or like slightly better than Layla's, and I love Layla. So, I do love Leia. Layla. I love Layla. Nilo will always be my best girl. Nilo will always be my best girl 100%. But Layla will always have a place in my heart too. They're very pretty Sumeru girls. But yeah. You're torn on grinding between ZZ or Star Rail. I suggest Star Rail. I fully suggest Star Rail. here's the thing with Star Rail is that in the coming patches, man, in the coming patches, we're getting some good stuff. I don't know if anybody else saw it for like the Game Awards and stuff, but like they showed like exclusive for the new area in like 3.0 for Star Rail, and I am excited. It looks so cool. I'm very excited about it. It looks so cool. Yes, I did stay up for the Game Awards. I stayed up for the whole thing. Did I stay up until 4 a.m? Yes. Do I regret it? No. It's all good. It's all fine. Ah, hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Irashai. You're still grinding materials for Miyabi. I still need to do polychrome grinding for Miyabi actually. I need to do polychrome grinding for Miyabi because I don't have enough. I am guaranteed though, so I will get her either way. But I don't think I have enough polychrome to actually pull for Miyabi. So I have to do some polychrome. I have to do some polychrome grinding soon. But at the same time, I did my dailies today, and then I don't think I actually opened up ZZZ today. Now that I think about it, I have to check on that. But I what was it? I was playing a lot of Marvel Rivals today. Yeah, I was playing a lot of Marvel Rivals today. It was fun. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Marvel Rivals is probably the only game at the moment where I can confidently say that I can use a sniper in the game. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. It's because I really wanted to play it for like a while now, but because I haven't had like time to do it, like between stream and etc and stuff like that, and like I couldn't do anything about that because everything is kind of has a deadline and stuff like that. And then it was a thing where it was like I tried to download it, and then I realized that it's too big. Like the file is too big. Well, not too big, but like the file is really big. Like the game file is super big. So I had to like move a couple things from my SSD to my HDD, and I managed to do it. So now I have enough space in my SSD to play Marvel Rivals and stuff. But yeah. But no, I was playing it for a little bit today, and I was trying out characters, you know, as a, and I'm going to say this very loosely, as a previous MCU fan. I did the MCU fan in me did get a little giddy for a little while. It did get me a little giddy for a little while. That new trailer that they showed for ZZZ though. Which one was it? Which one was it? Because I saw I think the only ZZZ trailer I've seen so far, at least the new one, is the Harumasa one. Which is very detailed. The Harumasa trailer is very detailed. Take your time, take your time. Don't need to rush. Hello, Rek. How are you? It is the evening here now. I am good. I've literally just been playing Marvel Rivals today, guys. I did my dailies, and then I became a superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I got really fangirly at some point in the game because they had like line exchanges between like Black Widow and Hawkeye and Winter Soldier and Captain America, and I was like, huh. The little MCU fangirl in me was like, oh my god. Guys, I used to love those films. I remember like going to the cinema and actually like buying tickets and like for the first night to actually go watch the MCU films because I love the MCU. And that was like, I think it was up until Endgame? I think it was Endgame. What was the, hold on, what is the timeline for it? Hold on. MCU timeline. Guys, I went to D23 to go see MCU exclusives. That's how much I loved MCU back then. I went to D23, an actual expo where they basically showed like exclusives of like Marvel and like Disney stuff. I went to that expo just to go see exclusives for Marvel stuff. I was that big of a fan. I think it was, let me see. I think I stopped after, where is it? Wait, I need it from release. In order of release. There we go. Hold on. In order of release, I watched until hold on. I watched until I think the second Doctor Strange film, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I watched until the second Doctor Strange film. And then I kind of fell off it a bit because I bought a new PC around there. I think I did watch Thor Love and Thunder though. Isn't that like the third? Is that the third film? Did I watch Love and Thunder? I feel like I watched Love and Thunder. I don't remember anymore. I feel like I need to watch these again. But basically I was very much there for like phase 1 till phase 4 of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. Yep. I remember going to the theater like when Endgame was premiering for like the first evening, and I remember just sitting in the theater and watching it, and I just remember like the reactions of everybody during that film, and I was like like I was proper fangirling. I was proper fangirling. I'm not even kidding when I'm talking about fangirling. They were like my favorite films. I really enjoyed them. So playing like now, like stepping away from Marvel for like a little while and then now coming back to it in a video game, like an actual fun video game, is actually kind of like, it's kind of nice. It's really, really nice. Yeah. I enjoy it. What's my favorite MCU character? Ooh, that's a hard one. I feel like if we're talking dude, like if we're talking dude-wise, probably Winter Soldier. Probably Winter Soldier. But if we're talking girl-wise, probably Scarlet Witch. Because I actually quite like their arc. I quite liked Scarlet Witch's arc, that's why. Like from we like first got introduced to her to like Age of Ultron, and then all of the other stuff that happened, and then all the things that happened in Doctor Strange, like it was good. It was very good. I do like Scarlet Witch. I kind of feel sad for Quicksilver though, but Scarlet Witch was actually really, really good. Like her arc was really good in the films, and then I think I watched WandaVision, like the TV show, the TV series WandaVision. I'm pretty sure I watched a little bit of it. I don't remember if I actually watched all of it, but WandaVision was actually quite good too. I actually quite enjoyed that one too. from like a visual perspective, I know some people didn't really agree with the idea of it because like it was more kind of like taking a slight bit out of the comics, like with like Wanda's like relationship with Vision and stuff. But like I still think visually it was beautiful. Yep. Yeah. Your favorite is still Thor Ragnarok. My favorite MCU film will forever be Winter Soldier. The second Captain America film, 100%. The second Captain America film is like peak. It's so good. I will never forget like watching that and then watching it again and again. Winter Soldier is just like, it's just a pure cinema. I said it. Yeah. It's pure cinema. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I watched Winter Soldier in cinemas like 3 times in the same week because it was just that good. I mean, there was Civil War, but Civil War felt more like a build-up to Avengers Infinity War, you know? It didn't really feel like a Captain America film because that was also when like we got first introduced to Spider-Man. Yeah, that was like the first time we got introduced to Spider-Man. But yeah, Winter Soldier will always be my favorite film. Favorite MCU film. I mean, to be fair, No Way, is it No Way Home? It is No Way Home, isn't it? Spider-Man No Way Home? No Way Home? No Way Home. I'm pretty sure it's No Way Home. Yes, it is. It's No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is probably like also up there for like second, like maybe like top 5 potentially. It's just because No Way Home just kind of like just ties up all of like the different Spider-Man films that happened too. Like the ones where like Tobey Maguire were in, the ones that Andrew Garfield were in, and Andrew Garfield were in, and then now we have Tom Holland who is Spider-Man, like etc. So like it was really good. A bit of a bittersweet ending, of course, but like I just love the fact that they kind of tied in like the legacy of Spider-Man into like that film. And then bringing like all of the other like villains in and stuff, and it's just like, you know, it was a really good film. It was just really good. But no, I still, there's like a couple of other MCU films I still haven't watched yet, which shame on me honestly, because they have had so many like good reviews and stuff, so I feel like I have to watch it soon, but I need to find time. The only time I had today was to play Marvel Rivals, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep playing it after this. I actually love playing Marvel Rivals. I can't believe Marvel Rivals is the only game that I can actually use a sniper on. I've literally only been using Black Widow and Luna Snow in Marvel Rivals. They're the only 2 characters I've been playing. I was gonna play Scarlet Witch, but Scarlet Witch kind of reminded me of Moira, so I was kind of like, I'm gonna leave that to somebody else who can do it better. But no, Luna Snow and not Scarlet Witch, Luna Snow and Black Widow have been my 2 characters that I've been playing the whole entire time for Marvel Rivals. It's really fun. There's like, you know when like in some like shooter games where like they have like a certain feel of like the shooting aspect of it, this is one of those where the shooting just feels really nice. Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna keep going with the MCU, because if I keep going with the MCU, this is gonna be a completely different stream. But yes, guys, today we're gonna be diving into the Impact 3rd lore. It's gonna be a doozy. I know there's a lot. So I have called in the experts, or the expert into the field. And he has very kindly made slides and a very lovely lesson plan, and I appreciate it a lot. I had a little flick through the slides earlier just to see what we were gonna get up to, and man, do I appreciate every single piece of information that's on that slides, because I'm never gonna remember that much stuff. So yes, he will have my utmost attention, because I am ready. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. But yes, I'm not gonna keep Killian waiting, so let me flip over. Let me just get into the Discord first, actually. Hold on. Let me pause this first. Actually, no, I'm gonna turn this down, actually. I'll keep the music on, but I'm not gonna have it too high up. So that I can actually hear everything else. Will that be okay? That should be okay. Okay. Let me enter this. Alright, here we go. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
All good.
Okay, hold on. I need to set volumes and stuff. Oh. Okay. And then yeah. Okay. But yes, here's the expert. He is the expert.
I like to think I'm an expert. But I had to do a lot of research here.
You'll be fine. I mean, you know more than I do, so that's the first.
Yeah. When you know more than somebody else, you are therefore an expert.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. Okay. Can you guys hear Killian? I can turn him up if he's a little quiet.
Hello. Hello.
You can hear him? Great. Okay. I'm just gonna turn you all the way up.
Okay.
Because I can't. Am I messing with? No, I'm not. Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Right. Okay. So, Killian has very much kindly made slides too. So I am going to. I'll be flicking through them. So, just let me know when you need to change the slide and stuff. Okay. In terms of me taking notes, I'm very much gonna rely on my memory right now.
I mean, you have access to this, so
yeah.
You use that for your notes.
Oh man, let me just.
Which there is a little bit of extra stuff that I didn't write in because it's just a lot of like extra information that I can just kind of talk about as we get to it.
Okay. Wonderful. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the background music so it's not just empty like space as we're doing this. Feel free to put your own music on your side too. So it doesn't it's not like you're talking into space.
Hello, Opera. Do you want to go ahead and play the music that I have as part of this Opera mod?
All right. Are you ready to educate me?
I am ready to educate.
Yay! Okay, here we go. Let me minimize that, and then let me take you guys over to the slides that he has kindly made. I really appreciate it, by the way. I did flick through them, and they look really, really nice. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. Let me... Sorry, this music is overpowering you so much. I don't understand why.
Do you also want to share your screen in Discord so I don't have the delay and everything?
Oh yeah! Hold on. I work with one screen, so I have to...
You're good.
I work with one screen.
You should really get a second screen. It's so nice.
I really want one. The thing is like... There you go. Yeah? You got it. Only one screen? Yeah, I only have one screen, unfortunately. Yeah. I do unfortunately have one screen, guys. I can't do with anything.
Okay.
Take your time. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll be fine.
No, sorry, I'm needing to stretch.
I
stood up.
The floor is yours. He's standing up. Oh my god, he's getting serious.
All right.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
As we know, I've kind of mentioned it quite a bit in your streams and stuff. That like this person's an XP of this person.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them coming from Honkai Impact.
Yes.
Because it's Honkai Impact is very much Hoyo's brainchild.
Yeah.
Even in the sense that their previous game, Gun Girl Z, I believe it was called. All of the characters from there are in Honkai Impact in different forms.
Oh, okay.
And this is really what set them up as a company to make the games that they're making now. And now because of Enforius being based around the Flame Chasers, that's why I wanted to base this around.
Yeah.
So, go ahead to the next.
Yup. Oh shoot,
I'm a lot of information here.
Okay.
The basic thing that you need to know is all of these characters on here are the same versions of themselves in different games. Some of them less so. Like, they're more comparisons that I make. Say, Arlecchino. She runs an orphanage. She is a super badass part of a secret, or not quite secret, organization. And her design is very similar to Natasha from Honkai Impact, who ran an orphanage, is a badass that's part of an organization, and is actually very kind at heart.
Yep.
A lot of people don't think that Arlecchino is Natasha, but I think between the design similarities and the personality that she very much is.
I mean, to be fair, I guess it's because of the colorway for Natasha and Arlecchino is probably why. It's probably the one thing that people are going to base it off of anyway. But I do see where you're coming from with Natasha and Arlecchino.
And there's also characters that have multiple XPs, say Bronya, right in the middle. Regular Bronya, or actually that would be Haxor Bunny, which is part of a bubble universe, is Silverwolf. They're both hackers, both like to use guns, shit like that. Regular Bronya, and in fact the older version of Bronya, is the Bronya that we see in Belobog. And then it's not just main characters, because we also have Venti is based off the Herrscher of Wind, which is just a side character that things happen to.
He's just a side character. Oh.
I say that to not ruin the story, but you can even tell from their designs that they're very similar, and Herrscher of Wind, God of Wind.
I mean, Wind and Emo, it kind of connects from there too. Yeah.
There are Kafka and Yenching, who Kafka is named after the composer Kafka, but also appears as Stigmata in Honkai Impact. Stigmata is basically just something that gives them some form of power.
Yeah.
So she appears as Stigmata, but not as a main character. And Yanqing appears in the story, but is basically a friend of Fuhua and a friend of Sushan. And he's an old man.
Yes.
But then they brought him into Honkai Star Rail, and he's a somewhat main character who's a young boy. Welt and Sparkle don't count. They're literally the same character, just copy pasted.
Yeah. I mean, like in the latest update for Impact Third, she's basically canon in the story anyway.
She is.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't played the new story, so I don't know if she appears in the main story. But there's an event that's based around her, and it seems to be it is directly tied into the actual canon of the story.
Okay.
And then yeah, everyone else on here is just other XPs: Sele, Himiko, Teresa to Nahida,
Yeah.
Lucha, and Auto Apocalypse. Fucking asshole. And actually, the boss form of Raiden is based off of Raiden May's Herrscher of Thunder form.
See, that's the Raiden, like the Raiden kind of like theory, not theory, but like at least like around like the Raiden characters. I think that's the only bit I'm kind of like into, but not like into, but like at least that's like the bit that I kind of know, because it's quite obvious throughout the games, like in Genshin and like Star Rail and stuff. So that's kind of like the biggest kind of like hint towards the fact that all of these universes kind of connect with each other.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Star Rail, she's just called Raiden.
She's like, literally there. Yeah.
Same character. Even if you remember, I don't know if you ever saw her teaser, like Acheron's teaser. The story of that is just the story of Honkai Impact. All of the like blades that they name are all references to the 12 Herrschers.
Oh.
Yeah. And I believe in JP, the third Herrscher, or the third sword, is called Howl in English, but they say May in JP.
So she's like part of, not part of it, but like part of it?
She's probably a separate universe version of the Raiden May that we know, where things didn't go well.
Okay. So we've got the like the alternate universe kind of thing going. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, JP and CN versions of the trailer, the narrator is the voice actor for Ayato. And if you click... The man at the left side of the top right picture.
Up here?
Yep, on the far left, the white-haired man.
That one.
His name is Kevin. It sounds very basic.
Yes.
Kevin Castellana is his name, and that is a name that you will get to know quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Castellana name. They're one of the most prominent families in Honkai Impact's entire history. And Kevin shares the VA with the JP of the narrator in Raiden's trailer, or of Acheron's trailer. And is the same VA as Ayato.
Okay.
Isn't it like Akira Ishida or something like that?
But he has like no, I'm guessing he has no like connection with like Ayato in Genshin though. Or is that something else that I shouldn't really be touching on?
Kind of, not really. Like, personality-wise, he's got some connections, but it's like past Kevin instead of the Kevin that we know. But other than just some slight personality overlaps, there's basically nothing.
Okay.
Even when we're talking about the direct references that we have already with Raiden, Raiden May is nothing like Raiden Shogun.
Oh yeah.
Even down to the fact that the Shogun can't cook. May is an amazing cook.
Yeah.
And personality-wise, the Raiden A that we know is somewhat similar to May, but also is, has a lot of differences as well. So, largely in Genshin, the XPs that we see are visually the same, actually different, much different.
Okay.
And sort of the whole thing that started my line of thinking with Amphorius being the Flame Chasers was the fact that the two images that I have in the top left and bottom right corner.
Oh well.
I saw.
Yep.
Sorry.
Keep going.
I saw the image of the thing in the bottom right during that trailer, and it immediately called to mind, especially because beforehand they called it the Flame Chase Journey.
Yeah.
Immediately called to mind the image of the signets together. And then it started playing through, and I was like, oh boy, this is everything that I know.
Mm-hmm.
The last picture I have on there, the color coding on there is basically green represents basically a 1-to-1. We can very easily guess who they are. The one blue is a very close connection. That's makes it like 80% likely that that's who they're supposed to be, but we'll touch on that. Orange is we can make a guess, but we can't quite tell yet. And then the red is I have a theory, but it's slightly crackpot and based off a lot of leaks.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So we'll touch on that one when we get to it.
Okay.
So we can go on in.
Yup.
And actually start talking about the characters.
Whoa.
So, all of the Flame Chasers were originally part of an organization called the Moths in the previous era.
Mm-hmm.
They were a largely known... So, the previous era basically made a world government, like a full connected world government, like, let's say Super Earth.
Okay, yes.
They had a specific force called the Moths that was based around actually fighting the Honkai. And the reason why you're going to see these capitalized is that Moths is an acronym for Myrmidon of Task Force Honkai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just I don't quite know about that yet. I haven't gotten there to figure out why it's called that, but it's called that. Basically, when soldiers got good enough within the Moths, they were obviously moving up in the ranks, and especially talented members were chosen originally as the first test subjects to become mantises. Which is another acronym. I don't expect you to remember this.
Okay.
It's another acronym for Massively Augmented Neotech Integrated Soldiers.
Okay.
Basically super soldiers.
Okay.
What this experimentation did is that it took basically genes from some of the Honkai and fused them with the soldiers to try and create these super soldiers that were especially resistant to Honkai, had extra abilities, all this other things, that way they could try and actually fight the Herrschers without basically just having to nuke the area that they were in.
Oh, wait, so is it like... So are they like... They're like another like organization? So they're not like the main kind of organization, they're kind of like a side organization that's in the story, or is it like...
So this is all previous era stuff that we only see through flashbacks and 3 chapters within the game and a side game called the Elysian Realm. Not side game, but like...
Side quest kind of thing.
Not even that. The Elysian Realm itself is entirely canon to the story. It takes place during some of the other chapters. And it teaches you all about the backstory of the Flame Chasers. And tells you why in the current era the people that are actually fighting are able to do the things that they're doing. Because the Herrschers in the previous era basically were just forces of the Honkai. You had to kill them. There was no fighting, like no stopping them unless you got rid of them.
So the Moths are against them then?
Yes.
Okay.
The Moths were formed to fight the Honkai.
Okay.
And in the previous era, the Herrschers just killed people, but in the current era there's like 5 or 6 that fight for humanity, and that's only because of what happened with the heroes of the previous era, the Flame Chasers.
Okay.
And that's something that I shouldn't know about, but I delved into reading and read too far. I have spoiled myself on a few things.
Oh.
But it's fine, because it's just going to make me appreciate things more, because I probably wouldn't have paid a super amount of attention to it. But moving on, the experimentation, as we know, created 6 mantises. or 16 mantises. And during a really tough battle against the 11th Herrscher, 70% of humanity was wiped out.
Great.
And 90% of the moths were wiped out, as well as 3 of the mantises. At least 3. We know of 16. We don't know exactly how many there were. And the entire reason that the mantises were created was because the 7th Herrscher was so incredibly strong that they barely made it through beating them.
Damn.
And had they not done this experimentation, they would have lost to the 8th. So, continue on and actually get into our first flame chaser.
Oh my god, it's Kevin!
Kevin.
It's Kevin.
In the JP, they often say Kevin instead of Kevin, since the V is a little bit harder to say with the accent.
Man, how strong is Kevin?
He is the strongest of the previous era. And even in the story that we see him, is still a major threat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't talk shit about Kevin then.
No, we can joke about Kevin, but the man is incredible.
Okay.
He was rank 1 of the flame chasers, made after the flame chasers were created.
Yep.
Which I should probably also mention, the flame chasers were only named because Alicia tried to gather the rest of the mantises together to form a official unit. So that's where the flame chaser name comes from. He joined in at a fairly young age, I think pretty much just out of high school.
Oh.
Yep. His reason for joining is that during one of the eruptions, some of the moths came in and a certain character named May, different May.
Yep.
She was extremely gifted, basically in today's society, she would have been basically in college at 16 years old sort of thing. Had wrote multiple papers on quantum physics and all this other shit. She was incredibly smart, and the moths went to recruit her to be a scientist.
Yeah.
Kevin, as with all Castellanos, was deeply in love with May. So he joined in so that way he could go with her and still be nearby to help if anything came up.
Anything for love, hey?
Anything for love.
Anything for love.
He was so talented, in fact, that before he even went through, if I remember right, Mantis experimentation, he killed a Herrscher.
Oh.
Which is what made him be selected as one of the first to go through it. He volunteered as one of the first to go through it.
Damn, go Kevin.
Yeah. And because of all the shit that he saw, all the death that he went from being fun, kind, slightly flirty with May to super reserved and cold.
Oh.
It didn't help that the Honkai that he was fused with also lowered his body temperature to below freezing, but that's a side thing that makes him cold. That's not the actual reason that he became cold.
He is physically and mentally cold.
Yes. All the flame chasers also have these things called signets, which are basically, like I said, something else that gives them a little bit extra powers. He has the signets of deliverance. Which
so he'll get the job done, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is meant for basically increasing his strength.
And
I think from what I read, he killed, 5 of the 12 Herrschers.
Oh!
Credited with it. He wasn't the only one. I think only one of the Herrschers did he fully kill solo. The rest of them, he had a little bit of help mixed in. But he is credited with killing all of them.
Oh.
And now if you want to click again, we can talk about who he is in HSR, which is Feynman.
Oh.
100%.
Oh my god, the fancy PowerPoint transitions! Yay!
If you see that close up of Feynman, like actually in like the large art that they did,
Hold on, I'm blocking.
He even has. Yeah, I didn't think about.
I got it. No, don't worry. I can move it. No worries. I got it. I'll move it. No worries. I got it.
So if you look at his eyes in that picture, he actually has the same pupils as pretty much all Castellanas do.
Oh.
That's Feynman. Yeah, body structure, the way he carries himself, his eyes, and the fact that during the trailer they say embarking on a grand mission of deliverance. They say that with him on screen. They're just telling you that it's Kevin.
Everybody knows it's Kevin.
Everybody knew it was Kevin. Even people that don't play Honkai Impact but know like a little bit from like watching the cinematics and stuff are like, yeah, that's Kevin.
Yeah.
It's quite funny actually that even it's amusing to me. I don't know why. Continue on.
You.
And we get to Pink Honkai Jesus. Oh god, I read why she's called that, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's a massive spoiler.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry.
But there is a very good reason why she's called Pink Honkai Jesus.
There's only one Jesus in my Honkai universe.
And it's her.
Yes.
She is the number 2 of the Flame Chasers. And it's only number 2 because she gave it to Kevin because when she originally tried to form the Flame Chasers, Moth High Command didn't want it to happen. Basically, a few of the members were too... What's the word?
Stingy?
No.
Non-cooperative?
A few of the members of the Flame Chasers, they were controversial threats.
Okay.
In various ways.
Okay.
And Moth Command didn't want them to be like a secret special unit that could work together. They wanted to keep them under their control. But she formed the group unofficially. But instead of her taking the lead, it was Kevin, since Kevin's known as like the saver of humanity by this point. Because I believe this was formed after the 11th Herrscher or after the 8th Herrscher, one of the two. And it was like she wanted the figurehead of it to be somebody that everybody knew. So she took number 2 while he was number 1.
So it's
and like I said,
is it one of those like number 2 will technically have like more like power over number 1, but number 1 still has like enough power to overthrow number 2 kind of thing?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to describe their dynamic. Alicia is very much the kind that she just wants to do what's best for everybody, even if it doesn't mean she is, the one in front.
Yeah.
She is absolutely strong enough that she could probably take on Kevin. I think she even mentions that a lot of their fights either end with her winning or in a draw. But she's not pushing for that because she just wants the best for everybody else.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I can't say too much more. Her entire story is the Elysian Realm, as well as chapters like 29 to 31. That is how major of a character she is. She has an entire section of the game based on her.
Wait, 20 to 31?
29 to 31.
Oh, 29 to 31. I was about to say, I was like, oh.
Yeah, no. God, if it was 20 to 31, I would be nowhere near done. And because she's so major, the cinematic Because of You is based on her as well. I'm not going to finish that because it's, again, spoilery. So if you want to click again. She is absolutely 100% Siren.
just look at her.
Yeah. Even the hair, like if you look at the hairpin in that bottom picture compared to the one that's on Cyrene,
yeah,
it is the exact same shape.
I mean, to be fair, so with Alicia, because I knew who her JPVA was, And then when people started theorizing about the fact that like 3.0 was basically going to cover like people who were like basically the fire chasers, when I figured out who her VA was, I was like, and then I checked the VA for Alicia for her like JPV, and I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. So it kind of the whole idea that like Star Rail 3.0 was gonna be like revolved around like this whole like basically this group of people was kind of already kind of set in stone after I figured out the JPVAs. So
yeah, it's not just the JP either. Like it's also the Chinese VA is the same. And it's funny the amount of people that saw her on screen and was expecting her to begin her sentence with hi.
Yeah.
Because that's how she always begins her conversations with May is just hi.
Ah, they didn't want to give it away. That's why. After all the other stuff that they gave away.
I mean, you listen to that JP voice and it still brings me to tears because it's I can't wait for her to come out. Yeah, and another pattern that you'll see in Honkai Impact is that they like to put music notes with Alicia's text, just because like the way her VA speaks is very floaty and like
very sing-song.
You said you've heard it, yeah. So they kept that, and I love it. I fucking love it. But enough about her because I can't talk anymore about her. So we'll continue on.
Okay.
So number 3 is where we get into some of the ones where I have a good idea of who they will be. Starting with Epona, who is number 3, the Flame Chasers.
Yep.
Even before joining the Moths, she was an extremely talented psychic, to the point that she could see the future and could use some of those abilities to influence people. She's super caring. She, in fact, ran a shelter that was housing people who were like infected with Honkai illnesses. The only problem was whenever she saw someone's future, she'd try to take action to help them out.
Okay.
And nothing like that.
Yeah, what does it, watching so much anime, it doesn't really end up the best.
No, you try and stop it and it just makes things worse.
Yeah.
So, that's basically Epona's character. She is absolutely one of the kindest characters in the series. But she can't do anything to help anybody because it just turns on a dime.
She can't even warn them or anything like that, or like it will just still end up the way that she sees it.
It always ends up the way that she sees it, or worse.
Okay.
If she intervenes, it makes it worse.
Okay.
She's the owner of the Signets of Discipline, which is used multiple times in the lore to influence the different people around her, to an extent that even just her standard like psychic powers couldn't do. And she can use it to full on change the ways people think. And if somebody is like basically rampaging, like someone we'll talk about later, she can use the Signets of Discipline to immediately calm them down.
So this is gonna be revealed, like this is gonna be like a huge stretch, but it's not. Is it kind of like the emo cogs in Penacony?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. Not quite to that extent, just because the emo cogs just completely change the way they're thinking.
Yeah.
Where, like, if somebody's super angry and is wanting to fight, she can use it to calm them down. But they'll still have that thought in their head of like, I'm not happy about this.
Yeah.
Where the emo cogs, like, it'll straight up make somebody cry and apologize for what they were just saying.
Yes. Yeah.
So not quite that far, but close.
Yeah. Okay.
And she, to the best of my knowledge, if you want to continue, is the one that we hear speaking throughout the trailer, Aglaya. It's not the same VA. I did check on that just to see.
Yeah.
But so this is where we also step into Greek mythology a little bit. So
Mm-mm.
Aglaia is based off of, I believe, one of the goddesses of beauty, but a lot of her stuff is based around like threads, and she's a weaver and a tailor or something like that. I think even Himiko's dress was either made by her or is connected to her in some way.
I'm guessing that's
obviously Himiko in Honkai Impact, her standard dress is very like Greco-Roman in design.
Yeah, I mean, hence the kind of the mannequins around her, I'm guessing as well.
Yeah, that's exactly why, actually. And another basis for her is, if you think in Greek mythology, the three fates of, I think, like birth, life, and death. And the way that they tell fate is by looking through threads, the threads of fate. The fact that in the trailer they talk about her harking to the sounds and voices of destiny makes me think there's a mix of that goddess of beauty, actually, who I think is actually named Aglaia, and the three fates, and mixing them together to make a tailor who can see the threads of fate and weave threads of fate.
Yeah.
Which is very much directly what Aponia does.
Okay.
The reason I put in the picture at the bottom is normal Aponia, she does have those like butterfly wings as part of her normal attire.
Yeah.
But they're usually like a deeper purple. In combat, when you go into an enhanced state with her, they turn a bright gold. Which is another reason why that's another reason why I kind of tie her to Aglaia.
Yeah.
But she's where things start to get kind of like, yeah, it makes sense, but also I could see it not if they wanted to go elsewhere with it. So we can continue on from there.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Very pretty. Eden, I think, was even remarked at as being one of like the most beautiful women in the previous era.
I mean, she does look pretty.
Yes. She is number 4 of the Flame Chasers and holds the Signets of Gold. In the previous era, when she joined the Moths, or before she joined the Moths, she was actually in the middle of a performance. She sang opera. And when shit happened and an eruption began to happen, she was one of the few survivors. She was found by Elysia, and like Elysia talked to her because of her, basically her past and what was going on. The fact that she did manage to survive, Elysia felt there was something special about her.
Yeah.
But also Elysia is very much attracted to beauty. I should point out, Elysia is one of the most like outwardly like lesbian characters in Honkai Impact.
That's fine. I'm That's fine.
It's not even a joke, because like if you think to like when she meets May, when she talks about Eden, she talks about Aponia, she always calls the three of them extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
The most she says about any male character is that Kevin is handsome.
Oh, that's very.
She never really says
basic.
anything about anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she'll go on and on about those, like the other three, and how much she loves them. But Kevin, she's just like, yeah, he's awesome. He's very handsome. And then that's about all he gets. That's all any of the males.
Like, there's Eden, there's May. It's like, oh yeah, and there's there's Kevin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, join the Moths at the Battle of 7th Herrscher. She's extremely nice, and in fact, I think, if I remember from my reading, she wanted to do a bunch of charity events as part of like her like, rising as a star in opera. And the people that were managing her was like, if you do charity events, you're not going to be making any money. How are you going to make money if you're constantly wanting to do charity for people? And so they refused a bunch of performances that she wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So she left them and went to all those performances anyways. And on top of getting the charity, just had a bunch of people giving her money because they loved her. So a bunch of stuff went to charity anyways. She still made money, and made so much that that's why has the Signets of Gold. Because the Signets of Gold in game mechanics are based around you having money.
Oh.
And she is fucking loaded.
Wonderful.
The Elysian realm that we know, which we'll touch on that another time. The Elysian realm that we know was funded by her. Oh yeah, no, it is based on SP. I'm thinking of Reverie is based on money. Yeah, and because of Elysia basically convincing her to join the Moths, and Eden was very depressed after the attack by the Herrscher, and almost just didn't want. She had survivor's guilt, basically. And she didn't think that she had the right to survive when everybody around her that she was doing stuff for charity for had died. But Elysia convinced her to, you have a beautiful voice, you don't deserve to die, you can use that to still help people, give people hope, and convince her to stay around. So they became very good friends.
Yeah.
If you want to click.
Yup.
Again, this is one that I'm entirely basing on design and the quote. You hear the sounds of the ocean's abyss, which she was a singer. The design of the character in that section, I could see her wearing something like that. It looks similar to what she has on.
Yeah.
But with that being all we have to go off of, and especially with how distant it is, it's a little bit more of a stretch. And even in the final section, when it's scrolling through all the artworks, she's one of the ones that's doesn't have like a full art. So I'm fairly certain it's her, but I'm also could be, persuaded one way or another.
Yeah.
I originally thought that Aglaya was her, actually, and then when I started digging into things and golden threads of fate and all that, I started to shift away.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get that a lot. So there's quite a few characters in here that are yeah, I could see it, but also so there's gonna be quite a few of these.
Okay.
Okay, nothing else on that. Next one. Next one is Vilvi, who is both very fun and also an issue.
It is. Yes. We do a red flag. Yes.
She's number 5 of the Flame Chasers. And has, I don't know if it's multiple personality disorder or if it's just multiple Vilvis.
Is it kind of like a Cherno kind of situation?
A what? You kind of broke up.
Is it kind of like a Cherno situation from Snowbreak?
I don't quite know that yet. That's what I mean. I don't know if it's multiple hers or if it's just different personalities.
Okay.
It's described as her having multiple personalities.
Okay.
8, in fact, which is why her name is Vil, because VIII is 8.
Yeah.
She made her name a fucking pun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised.
And then the V is because she was named 5th of the Flame Chasers.
Okay.
Caused by her... Oh, Mantis enhancement, yeah.
Oh.
And I did also read that even before that, she liked to put on personas of different people to get herself out of trouble. So it was probably that she already had basically different personalities that she'd put on in different groups or around different people to persuade her way into things.
Yeah.
And then once she went through the Mantis augmentation, just splintered that even more.
So she was really good at conning people, basically.
She was a con artist.
Yeah.
That is the way she is described.
Oh, okay.
However, because of one of those personalities being based in engineering, she actually picked up a lot and created many of the Divine Keys. The Divine Keys, I should also mention, because it's kind of a big lore piece.
Yeah.
The Divine Keys are all made of the gems of the killed Herrschers.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, Kevin's main weapon, the Judgment of Shamash, is from the Herrscher Flames. And all the other ones are the same way as well. But she's incredibly talented as an engineer, and her gameplay reflects that in the fact that when you're playing as Vilvi, you have a cannon and a Gatling gun, and you hop back and forth between them.
Wow.
Yeah. She is, in my opinion, one of the most like in-depth characters that you meet of the Flame Chasers, just because you have to deal with the multiple personalities while also dealing with the ramifications of each one doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Because you have the chef who really likes to cook, you have the engineer who really likes to build, you have the evil one who is actively working against you, you have actual Vilvi, who is trying to help you out. Like, there's so many different things that these different personalities are doing that you're trying to figure out which one's which, or at least they are, and you never know which one you're running into. Another thing I can think of is like Dottore from Genshin. How he said he like splintered off different parts of himself at different points of his life, and each of those has a different personality. Kind of similar to that, except it's all just Vilvi. Inventor, Mechanic, Magician, those are 3 of the versions of her that there were.
Yeah. Were? Oh.
Or are.
Okay.
Were, whatever you want to say. You meet them in different points, and she's confusing.
Okay.
She has kind of one of the funniest stories of joining the Moths, and the fact that she thought the Moths were the things that were causing the attacks of the Honkai. And because she was in the areas where it was happening multiple times, she's like, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna build a bunch of robots, and I'm gonna go attack them.
She had misinformation.
Yeah.
No.
So she attacked the Moth, I think headquarters, in fact, but being one against a bunch of powerful soldiers.
Yeah.
It didn't end well, but they were also like sitting there looking at her thinking, you are incredible. You did all this on your own without us knowing, with very little funding. Do you want to join us and put your talents to actual use instead of trying to fight us? And so she joined. And like I said, went on to make multiple of the Divine Keys, which is one of the reasons why they were actually able to continue fighting the Honkai.
Okay.
And I'll say the Divine Keys range anywhere from, like I said, Kevin's sword to a pair of guns to weapons of mass destruction.
Okay.
And to cryopods that would be used to preserve humanity.
Why have I heard that one before? I can't put my finger on it.
And I will say the funniest part about that is the fact that the cryopods were made of the same divine key that was originally the weapon of mass destruction.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like I said, in lore, she's one of the most interesting. Just because of everything that she's done and how smart and freaking talented she is.
Yeah.
But she's also the most confusing to try and explain because she does so much. Yep. And if you want to click, this is kind of the most off one that is also one of the biggest direct references to being Vilvi. Even down to the fact that her name's Tribby, which tri means 3.
Yep.
Tribby is described as being the 3-faced messenger that goes to multiple worlds and does all this stuff. Like, just by her description is what makes me think that Tribby is Vilvi in in Amphorius.
I mean, even with even in like the Star Rail, like with her art in Star Rail, like the fact that she's got two dolls in her hand that have two different like expressions on them as well. Well, you can't see the other one, but like, you know, the other expression is still there, so that could be a hint towards it too.
Yeah. And so while she's not a direct XP in the sense that, you know, Kevin and Alicia were, she's still close enough to in description that that's likely what they were going for.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to go. My guess is because everything's also based in Greek mythology. An inventor that makes machines like that wouldn't have fit in a Greco-Roman inspired mythology. So they had to take that and instead work it into a fairy of sorts, something that would have existed from that time period or from that mythology. So she's a little bit more of a stretch, but also highly likely, in my opinion.
Okay.
Also, I think one of the first ones to be coming out. We'll find out here in a couple weeks, I think.
Oh yeah, because his drip marketing is coming out in a couple weeks too.
Yep, we've got, I think, well, no. We've got like 10 days left on Sunday, so it'll take like a week and a half, 2 weeks after that.
I need to get his I need to get his light code before he finishes.
I still haven't gotten him.
I need him.
I'm not like actively trying, but like
I need his light code. I will pull my wallet out if I have to.
I'm not pulling my wallet out on him just because.
And I will.
I'd rather have Fugue.
I mean, I will be pulling for Fugue as well, but I need his light cone. I just need his light cone.
Fair enough. Alright. We want to move on. Kalpas. Number 6 of the Flame Chasers.
Yep.
He is one of the strongest in combat.
Hence the smoke coming out of his back.
Yes. He very nearly in the story kills May.
Oh.
Who only gets saved, I think, either because of Aponia or because of Felix. I forget exactly who saves her. But yeah, he almost kills May because he's that fucking strong.
Oh. But why is he only 6?
The rankings are weird, and it's not actually based on... I don't think it's even rankings. I think it's just based on how they wanted the order to be. Because we'll see another one later that is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And like incredibly talented and a major threat, but isn't very high up.
So it's kind of like the Fauti then, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because even in the Fatui, the 1st through 3rd, I think they are, all have the strength to rival the gods, the Archons.
Okay.
So their rankings do go from strongest to weakest, or most potential to least potential. That's why Child is so low, is because like
he
wimp. Has the foul legacy form, but that's the biggest thing he's got going for him.
He's a wimp.
Whereas Scaramouche was higher up because he was made as the vessel for a god.
Yeah.
So he had potential to be one of the strongest.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And in fact, I'm betting if Dottores' planning had gone through and he did fully arise to becoming an Archon, he likely would have been bumped up in front of Arlecchino.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Ooh.
Back to Kalpas.
Yep.
He's also extremely aggressive, even before any of his augmentation. He was actually at the shelter that Aponia ran.
Yeah.
When shit happened. And he ended up fighting somebody. Nope. Hold on, I'm getting called.
Yep. It's too much lore. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I really am. It's cool to see these sort of things, you know. You dislike but later grew to love. I feel like a lot of like these sort of characters kind of like not these sort of characters, but like at least in like these games, there's definitely going to be some characters where you're like you like first didn't like them, but then ultimately you start to like them because like I mean even in like Star Rail and stuff, a lot of people didn't. Well, not like a lot of people, but like some people actually didn't like Aventurine at first, and then we got his backstory and everything, and then boom, his popularity goes up just way out the roof. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like you'll initially like, you'll initially know who it is. Well, not initially know who it is, but like you'll initially like see who the person is first, but then you don't really know the backstory for them. And then once you know their backstory, it's just gonna be one of those where it's like, once you know their backstory, it's you start to kind of love the character more. Which I genuinely wished actually worked for Sunday, because he was mistreated.
See, you are just directly describing Otto.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that is basically how people feel about Otto, is that like you hate him, and even once you learn his story, you hate him, but you're like,
yeah,
I can't hate you as much.
You can't hate me 100% because I've still got like, I've still done this, and you can't like, you can't fault me for it. Yeah, that's
he's a monster, but you can understand his monsterness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kalpus, I haven't learned a lot about him in story, and I'm sure if I do learn more about him, he'll be a more interesting character.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I need to learn about him. He is slowly going crazy.
Hence the smoke. Yes.
I believe it was whichever Honkai beast he was fused with, is just slowly eroding at his mind. And even when his experimentation was done, he was barely considered a success because of just the effects of it. But because of how much stronger it made him, they were like, he can be dispatched somewhere and just handle the situation, sort of thing. And then has to be calmed down by Epona. He's the one that I was talking about. So when he and Epona were taken into the Moths, they were originally like arrested, I think.
Oh, basically. They weren't even on good terms. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Like I said, he attacked somebody. But because of how strong he was just as, a person without any sort of augmentation.
Yeah.
They were like, you need to be recruited because you are incredibly strong, incredibly talented, incredibly skilled, and a threat that we need to keep an eye on. But the two of them were taken in. He was in prison longer than Epona, and Epona, in fact, went through the Mantis augmentation and got the signets of, oh god, I can't remember what they're called.
Got her signets, yes.
Yeah, she got her signets.
Yeah.
And used those to calm him down, so that way they could actually talk to him and explain everything. Which is when he got his own augmentation. That wasn't when he got his own augmentation, but he got it later on. But that is when he joined. And because of all that, he ended up with the signets of decimation. The calamity you control, the one that can be pointed in the right direction. Yes, that is the best way to describe him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when if either he solves the problem or dies.
Wow.
No, that's accurate.
Okay.
That is accurate.
Wow. Okay.
However, despite the fact that he is going insane, despite the fact that he is angry, he's a man literally too angry to die.
Yep.
He has a soft spot for children because the shelter he was at was like trying to help children. And he was doing what he could to help out as well. And because of that, that's kind of part of his personality, is that he does try and help the innocent.
Yeah.
which we'll talk about in a minute as well because of his ties to another character. So, if we want to click and move on.
You?
He's a tough one, as well as another one that will come up on in a moment, because either of them could be either of these two.
Yeah.
The way My Day is described, it fits his anger. And in fact, the pose that My Day takes here, we see something similar from Kalpas in the game. So it's very fitting for him to be My Day. However, as you can tell by looking at Kalpas and then looking at the shadowed figure, that also very much fits his design.
Yeah.
So he's one of the few that I'm just entirely questioning, just because, like, I know he could be, but we don't have enough to say.
Okay.
And I'll be really excited to figure out which is which, because of the fact that that'll kind of, with all the other ones being more direct references, it might give a little bit more, like, say My Day is Kalpas before he went crazy.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know kind of what he was like before everything started happening and going bad for him. So, he's an interesting one. He's openly antagonistic. He's a person. I think is the best way that I can say it.
He's a personality.
I like him as a character. But I need to learn more about him to know if I continue to do so. Alright. Move on.
Okay.
Any questions so far about any of them? Why I have thoughts that I do? Anything like that?
Oh no, I'm really into it right now. I'm quite interested.
Okay. Then we'll talk about Sue, number 7 of the
Why does he look like Alhaitham?
Because he does.
Yeah.
He's one of the ones that everybody looks at Alhaitham and looks at him and is like, yeah, that's the XP. Yeah. He even acts very similar. Oh, no. Alhaitham's more cold-shouldered.
Yeah.
Where Sue is, Sue, if you think like Buddhist monks sort of thing, because he's even described as possibly being Buddhist. Yeah. Or having ties to Buddhism. Even the fact that his signets are the signets of Bodhi. Yeah. That's a very Buddhist thing. So that's kind of the personality that he has, is that kind of a Buddhist monk. Where Alhaitham is the snappy, intellectual that hates being around people. Yeah. And that is not the way I would describe Sue. In fact, serene, calm, kind, and polite, those are all perfect descriptions of him. Every time you talk to him, he is just trying to guide you and give you direction and help you in any way he can. Yeah. Before he joined the Moths, he and Kevin actually went to high school together. They knew each other for a long time. Whoa. It's even basically considering each other best friends. Kevin was recruited into the Moths, like I said, pretty much directly out of high school. Yeah. Sue was a doctor. His main line of research was trying to figure out how to cure Honkai illnesses. And did for some cases. Basically, if somebody was basically inflicted with a minor infliction of a Honkai illness, what he developed would help them. Ooh. If they had been like long-term, infected with Honkai radiation of any kind, or was basically to the point of no return, the medicine would suppress the Honkai within them and allow them to... I just thought of something else that would relate to the early story. Sorry. I only just... Rack, I need to talk to you later because I just had thoughts. So he developed this suppression that would keep people alive for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
But if they were too far gone, they were too far gone. And they would still eventually succumb to the Honkai illness.
Ah.
And the rest I can't talk about.
Okay.
Because at the end of the previous era, he did a few things that makes him extremely relevant. But it's something that I can't talk about because it's a massive spoiler, even for me, even for Rec. So I'm not going to touch on all that.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a really fun character. Like, learning about him has been one of my favorite characters to learn about.
Yeah.
Just because he's just genuinely a fun person and a nice person, and he's awesome. Genuinely. And comparing him to Alhaitham is, other than design, something that doesn't work.
Okay.
Like, he is the XP because he does look very, very similar.
Yeah.
But they could not be any more opposite when it comes to the actual way that they act.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Oh.
And there is a comic that I'm pretty sure might be canon. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Of Sue and Kevin in ancient Greece.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. So the two of them are somehow tied to ancient Greece. I don't know about that because I'm pretty sure it's a manga. But with the fact that they're tied to ancient Greece is probably also why they might have chosen ancient Greece as the setting for Amphorius.
Ah.
There's a lot of material that, varies in levels of canon, I mean, there's three or four entire, like, cinematics that were made, and then they were like, that's not canon.
Okay.
In fact, there's a cinematic of Welt and another character, Carol, who you see them boarding some sort of rocket, and then it picks up and tilts and leans back, and you get a full view of it, and it's the Astral Express.
Oh.
But that's not canon, because we know that the Astral Express already existed within Star Rail.
Yeah, okay.
Also, visual novels that never got... I really want to read all of that. Because I know there's, like, the second Eruption manga, third Eruption, something like that. There's the one with them being in ancient Greece. There's a lot of extra lore that's just tied in elsewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah. Moving on to who Sue is. Anaxagrius the Foolish. Which, if you want to click one more time, we'll show you exactly why I was like, oh yeah, these are the Flame Chasers. That is the first shot that we see of Sue. The first shot we see of Sue is him leaning against the roots of a tree.
Yep.
In the exact same pose that we see in Anaxagrius. Yeah, like, in the trailer, I saw Aglaya, and I saw Tribby, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Once he came on screen is when all of the gears started to turn.
Yeah.
I saw him, and I didn't go back because I was actively watching it with, I think, Panda.
Yeah.
But, yeah. He was the one that set off the Flame Chaser brain and made me start actually looking deeper into all the characters. Yeah, has the knowledge to refute faith and stir up a torrent capable of slaying gods. He's a very much strategic person. And I think came up with a few plans for fighting off some of the Herrschers.
Yeah.
Which the Herrschers are Honkai gods.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of also gives that direct tie of him being the strategist in the previous era, and then Anaxa being some sort of strategist.
Mm-hmm.
So another one who I can just tell you right now, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
100%. Easy. Move on. You might recognize this design.
Yeah. A little taller, but yeah.
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 Yae Miko.
Yep.
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 Miko's based off Yae Sakura, who is the 8th of the Flame Chasers.
Yep.
She originally joined... The way she originally joined the Moths is she and her sister lived in the far east of the previous era. I see small correction from Midai.
Who?
Midai says small correction.
Yo. Mirai's pushing his glasses. Actually.
Not yet. Yeah, this is just Sakura, but Yae Miko I know is more based on a different version of Yae Sakura that we see in something called the Sakura Samsara.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that one she's more like dressed in the Shrine Maiden outfit. But I'm pretty sure even her full name is still Yae Sakura. And she's just known as Sakura. Because I've even seen Mirai. Who else was it? There's another character in there that is just called by their first name, and it's capitalized in the same way, but they do still have their full name. Where, like, Sakura would just be basically a code name. So I don't know if it's, she's just Sakura in this form, or in the other forms, Yae Sakura. That's one thing I couldn't quite find. But she lived in the Far East. Kevin was Kevin Caslana. So they still did have surnames. I'm thinking of May, because May was just called May with all caps. For all the stuff on the move, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Just every cog is turning right now.
But she originally joined the Moths because of she was basically protecting her sister against Honkai attacks in the Far East. And when Kevin and May showed up, she originally attacked them, thinking that they were there to do something they weren't supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And
in the process, they basically tell her, look, if you come with us, we can give you extra resources and other things and more people to help you protect your sister. She didn't take kindly to that, pointed her sword at May's throat, but they ended up managing to convince her. Okay. She made a deal with them, and she became a cleaner in the Hitman version of the word. Her task as the cleaner was to basically go to areas with massive amounts of Honkai irradiated people that were suffering from heavy amounts of Honkai illnesses and get rid of them, because you can't spread diseases if you're dead.
If you're gone, yeah.
So that was her job. And she is the one that I was talking about that Kalpus fought after cleaning Sundown Alley. She's the one that took in Aponia and Kalpus. She was the one that was massively impressed by Kalpus managing to hit her. Because I think she was already a Mantis. And the fact that he managed to land any hits on her was already impressive. She owns the signets of Setsuna. which in the game is based entirely around evasion.
Yep.
Which is why she was so impressed, is the fact that she was basically super fucking hard to hit. So the fact that he hit, it's like if you've ever seen the shot or the cutscene from the recent God of War game, where he's fighting the one god and the guy's like all cocky and shit because he can see the future and he's like predicting all of Kratos' hits, and then he gets decked and he's like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So similar situation to that.
Mm-hmm.
And the sword that she originally had was also called Setsuna.
Yeah.
As far as who she is in Amphorius, she's a bit harder to say.
Okay.
If you want to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Because her closest tie is Hyacinth.
Mm-hmm.
The pink hair, the like slightly off Japanese aesthetic.
Yeah.
But if you want to click one more time,
yep.
Hyacinth looks much more similar to her sister. Yaedin. The hair on its own just very much points to the fact that Hyacinth is Yaedin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it looks like she even has blue eyes, Hyacinth. So, this is one of the few where you can tell who it's supposed to be, but it actually doesn't link to the character itself. And in fact, this is another reason why it's kind of a messy one to tell, is that there's leaks of a character in Star Rail that's known as Sakura.
Oh.
That could be the actual Sakura. So, kind of a toss-up on who it's going to be. It's likely to be Yaedin instead of actual Yae Sakura or Sakura.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the closest match that we have to the Flame Chasers. I don't know. I have to play through Sakura Samsara because I believe that we do learn a bit about Yaedin there.
Yeah.
But it's side story that gives you sort of background on Yae Sakura that I need to learn about. But it's also in itself like another 15 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
If not more.
So.
It is that she is so hard to determine in the canon that no one knows. Yeah. She really is.
Oh.
Yeah. Sakura also of the Flame Chasers, she is one of 3, I think, that has multiple versions, like multiple battle suits.
Oh.
Because obviously you know that all the characters have battle suits
that
are basically different versions themselves with different attacks.
Yeah.
Sakura is one of the few that has multiple.
Okay.
She has, I think, 3 or 4. Elysia has 2, and then another one that we'll talk about later has 2. But of the ones we've talked about, Aponia, Vilvi, I think we talked about one more female. They only had one more. It's debatable what is canon with it beyond some things. Yeah, with Callan. Yeah, that's an entire other story that I don't even know anything about. Because if I remember right, I think the Sakura Samsara was also entirely a side story that wasn't part of the main canon. And I know Callan was in there, but I don't know if they actually knew each other in the main story. Because I'm pretty sure in the main story, Callan was obviously in Europe with Shiksal, roughly around the Germany area. And yeah, Sakura, between living in the past and also being in the Far East, likely wouldn't have met her. So I don't know exactly what the ties between them are. I would have to play the Samsara to find out.
So she's a bit of a complicated character as well.
Very. Yeah. Callan, by the way, also last name Castellana. It's like I said, that's going to be a name that you hear a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Next up.
Yup.
Ow, my shoulder popped.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it felt stiff for a moment, so I raised it and tilted it backward, and it felt weird. So yeah, number 9, Cosmo.
Yep.
He might realize has a few variations to his head that most characters don't. He had one of the biggest changes physically because of his mantis augmentation compared to anybody else. The only other one that had as major of a change will come up in a few. One of the most shipped you'll ever see, in Hoyo. Yeah, that's like I said, I'll have to get to that point because as far as I know, I don't know if Colin actually knew Asakura. I know that they know each other in a samsara, but I don't know if that's part of the main story. Yes, Cosmo, number 9 of the Flame Chasers. He's nice. He comes off as very cold, very reserved, doesn't like to talk to people.
Yeah.
He has a problem of overanalyzing and overthinking. So often the reason why he doesn't respond to people, from what I read, is because he's trying to think of what to say, and then by the time he thinks of what to say, they've already moved on. But he's super nice. He used to be a lot more outgoing, but after the mantis augmentations and after everything that he saw while fighting for the moths, it changed him a lot. Which is to be expected. You're around death constantly.
Yeah.
He is the current owner and the inheritor of the Signets of Daybreak, which he inherited from his former master. Isn't the right word?
Senior.
Senior.
Mentor.
Mentor. That's the word. I was thinking mentor. I don't know why I said I. Unless I'm thinking of another I word that also means the same thing. He inherited it from his former mentor, who died while fighting one of the Herrschers. In fact, I think the 11th Herrscher that wiped out a lot of humanity. And that's also, he started taking care of his mentor's daughter, which is why he has such a great love for children, because he had to basically help raise one, even though he himself was at a fairly young age. The experimentation and the Honkai beast that he was fused with, which I believe was some form of dragon, has caused him to grow horns. I believe he has sharper, almost claws, if I remember right. His ears became pointed, and because he was the most changed, I think, he has a tail. I didn't put that picture in. There's a picture of him leaning against a tree that makes me, I should have put that one in there. Brain just ADHD'd its way out of that thought.
You're good, don't worry.
Oh yeah, he was had one of the most extreme changes in his physical form. Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why he became more reserved, is because he didn't know how people would respond to him having all of these inhuman qualities. Okay. Especially when, anything gets revealed that they were experimenting with the genes of Honkai. But despite it all, he's still extremely nice. Anytime Alicia asks him to do anything, he'll do it immediately.
Wait, so it's with the experimentation with Honkai genes and stuff, was that publicly known, or was that something underground?
That I don't know. I should have looked at that to see if it was something that was well known. I actually don't remember. Because we know that the mantises were, like I said, they were known to be super soldiers, but I don't think the public knew what went into creating them. Okay. because I mean, obviously the Honkai is like the top secret. Because obviously the Honkai is the biggest threat to humanity.
Yeah.
And if it comes out that the world government is experimenting with said Honkai and creating people that are influenced by Honkai, they would largely not be pleased.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why, like, he stopped making a lot of major public appearances. He, closed himself off from a lot of people. Basically, only just talked to people that he was close to.
Yeah.
And for most of the Elysian realm, he barely talks to May.
Oh.
He starts to open up to her more, but for the most part, in the beginning, he just doesn't. And as far as who he could be with Star Rail, he's the opposite to Kalpas.
Do you want me to? Yep.
Same as Kalpas, where either of these could be him.
Okay.
Because there's some sort of other form that I've heard about that looks similar to the guy in the armor. However, if Kalpas is supposed to be the guy in the armor, that would make my day more the one that is supposed to be Cosma.
I'm guessing it might be like the dragon reference potentially, or
yeah, probably. So hard to say with these two. They're one of the ones that's giving me the biggest questions, just because I know who they could be, but not in a way that I can definitively say that they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, either or could work.
Okay.
Move on.
Yep. Oh, hello.
We love Mobius around here. We actually don't. Mobius, number 10, is a major threat.
Okay.
She is a mad scientist that is described by one of her own assistants as a pure being, a pure seeker, and pure evil. She's heavily invested in her own research. To the point that when she has questions that she wants answered, or when she has ideas of what she wants to do, she won't stop. Nothing will keep her from doing the things that she wants to do.
Yep.
She, in the story, threatens May multiple times, calls the people around her lab rats.
Okay.
She's genuinely just an issue.
She's the problem.
She was infused with a certain Honkai creature that makes it to where she technically can't die for the most part.
Oh.
If she gets killed, she ends up reviving. Younger.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why she looks like a little girl. There's another picture that I don't think I put in and should have of her much taller, bigger in different ways.
Okay. Yeah.
Wearing a lab coat like a full adult woman. But that's not how we know her. And every time we see her in the story, this is her form. Yeah, regresses in age. She's at heart, when she cares about something, she very much cares about them. And like it's actually a fun story that if anybody's late to any sort of experiment that they're working on, she forces them to buy milk tea. She doesn't like milk tea. However, her assistant Klein loves milk tea.
Aww. Okay.
After something happened to Klein, somebody went to bring in milk tea for them because they were running late, and she outright refused it. She would not drink it.
Oh.
Because she doesn't even like milk tea.
Yeah.
The only reason that rule existed is because of Klein.
Aw, that's cute.
Yep. She's, like I said, at heart, when she actually cares about something.
Yeah.
she can be a very kind person, but doesn't show it. Like I said, when she's absorbed in her research, she will stop at nothing.
Yeah.
And because of her constant death and rebirth and cycling back through, I'm actually I don't know 100% sure. I'm not. If she dies and gets reborn, will she re-age? Is something I don't know. I don't know if she'll grow older again. That's one thing I don't know if it's ever stated, unless you like read up on a lot of lore.
Yeah.
I would assume that she would still grow back to her original size, and she would just continue to go through that cycle of. I mean, her signet of infinity is a snake that's in the shape of infinity. But if you also think of the Ouroboros...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. So it's probably... I'm pretty sure she does, yeah. So it's probably a thing that she'll just continuously die and then regrow up and then continue to die.
Yeah.
And if she dies probably multiple times in a row without being able to grow, probably likely that she would go back just to being a baby and have to completely grow up again.
Okay.
All the mantises have extremely extended lifespans. Some of them can literally live forever. We'll kind of talk about that one.
Okay.
There was something else. She doesn't actually know how far back she'll go. Yeah, she could go all the way back to being a cell. Yeah.
You walked into the wrong classroom. Hello, Marky.
Oh, right. That's what I was thinking. Part of her backstory is... I don't know where this is stated, because I don't know if it's in story or if it's in stuff you have to read.
Yeah.
She was born in a very weird circumstance where her mother carried her for 10 months. Her mother had enough time to name her and then died.
Hold
on, my headset decided to turn off.
Oh. No, Keely can't hear me.
Okay, back.
Oh, hello.
Battery headsets, we love them. So yeah, her mother died basically with enough time just to name her. And then in the operating room, she spoke her first words.
Oh.
Yes. Very, very special child.
I can tell.
Yeah. She is quite literally a genius. She is the one that did a lot of these surgeries to, fuse people with the Honkai. But she's also nuts, quite literally. And as far as who I think she is in Honkai Star Rail, she's another one that's kind of a guessing game, but through leaks I kind of have an idea if you want to click.
Oh!
In my opinion.
Okay.
I do believe she's Caceres.
Okay. Because she was teased a couple days ago.
Yep. Caceres, there's an artifact set or a relic set that's coming out that somebody leaked the description of. So, grain of salt, throw it behind your back, kind of guess on this one. The relic set description describes the daughter of the river Styx and being in a cycle of death and rebirth.
Ah, okay. I see where they're coming from then.
Yeah. And even another thought that I had even before that is the picture of Caceres, and like in the top right.
Yeah.
She has a very similar crown to what Mobius has.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that, slight spoiler, you end up fighting Mobius as a boss.
Yep.
Another tidbit of lore. the flame chasers with their Honkai genes can actually go through a transformation of sorts and grow closer to their Honkai quote unquote gene donors.
Okay.
And hers grows into a giant like snake dragon monster thing. And then from what we saw in the recent teaser and the fact that she's, you know, messing with a death dragon in the original Euphorius teaser is what set me up originally to be thinking that Castorise was her. It's one of the more loose ones because it's entirely based on leaks and my own ideas.
Yeah.
But of all the characters, she is one of the most fitting ones. The only other one is, if you remember from the teaser, do you remember the silhouette that was in the red that like had her hand up? It seemed like on her like forehead and was like leaning to the side a little bit.
Which teaser
if not, we'll
was
see that
it?
picture in a minute. We'll see that picture in a minute if you can't remember.
Okay.
It was in the original Euphorius teaser when they were scrolling through all the artworks of the characters.
Oh, there's so much to take on that trailer.
Okay. Well, I'll show you that in a minute and I'll talk about it. That was my original thought for Mobius.
Yeah.
Because part of Mobius's whole thing is she's incredibly smart and works a lot in the background. And that character that we saw during the Euphorius teaser, the only thing that we see of them other than that artwork is them placing a chess piece on the underside of a chessboard, which is her working in the shadows, which is a lot of what Mobius is doing when she actually starts getting introduced in the Elysian realm. So that had been my original thought, but as I started to like look more into it, especially once the description of that relic set came out, I'm more leaning towards Castorise at this point.
Okay.
Alright, next up.
Yep.
Grisio.
Yep.
She cute. She daughter. She adorable. Literally, she's daughter.
Yep.
This is the kid that I was talking about with Cosmo.
Oh, okay.
Basically, because the other guy was his mentor, he promised to take care of Grisio. So he's always by her side, always protecting her. He refuses, in fact, to let May get close to her the first time that they see her.
Oh.
Or that she sees them. And he threatens her, like, if you come close, I will kill you.
Okay.
She is number 11 and the youngest of the Flame Chasers. She is extremely talented in painting. That is, in fact, what she does most of the time that we see her, is that she's just sitting there painting. Her paintings are special. If you think Zhezha from Wuwa.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So a bunch of shit ended up happening. Griseo almost died.
Oh.
So, okay, a little bit more background on Griseo. Her mother was a scientist that worked with Mobius. Her father was a moth soldier. Her mother got killed, I believe, in an eruption, leaving just her father to take care of her. No. Brain? I think.
Don't worry, Mirai's here to back you up.
I read it recently, but I also read a lot. So her mother would still occasionally work with Mobius. And so Griseo spent a lot of time with Mobius. And so much time, in fact, that she could start calling her Auntie Mobius.
Yeah.
Or Granny Mobius is another thing that I read. But she's not at all frightened by her. She loves Mobius a lot.
Okay.
And her mother ended up dying. And then I think her father, in one of the eruptions, ends up dying. And Griseo herself nearly ends up dead. But because of how close she got to Mobius and how she worked her way into Mobius's cold heart.
I guess that's why like Mobius cares about her then.
Yes.
Okay.
Mobius cares a lot for Griseo, actually. So she did everything she could to save her, even to the point of having to fuse her with a Honkai beast to keep her alive. She did everything that she could and ended up having to resort to that. She was made into a mantis not out of like volunteering or because she was a soldier or anything like that. It was out of necessity of Mobius just trying to keep her alive.
Yeah, keep her alive. Yeah.
And that's the point where I'm like, I like Mobius because she's an interesting character, but at the same time, I'm very weary of her just because of, if you're not within her circle of people that she cares about,
yeah,
you're likely to end up on a table at some point.
You are the lab rat at that point.
Yes. Yeah, she's not put off by Griseo's not put off by Mobius at all.
Yeah.
And Aponia, as I said, she does her best, but often ends up making things worse, and it puts a lot of people off from her.
Yeah.
Griseo's not that way. Griseo loves Mobius, or not Mobius, Aponia. And calls her Mama Aponia because she's so nice to her and treats her like a daughter. Griseo is adorable.
Yeah.
She is the Kachina of Honkai Impact.
Okay.
She is the must protect. But because of everything that went on, they did everything that they could to keep her safe. She didn't have her father to protect her anymore. Cosmo's now having to take up that mantle, but he's still a soldier. So they end up giving her, I don't know if they gave her the Signets of the Stars. I don't actually know how she got it. She is in later story of Honkai Impact that I haven't learned about.
Okay.
So I don't know her full backstory and her current story and all this other stuff, but I do know that she is somewhat more of a major character. And she's also one that I don't quite have an HSR foil to. I only have an image to go on. So if you want to...
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the only one that I had to go on. A lot of people were saying this looked like Sele in like Honkai Impact Sele. But there is another older form of Griseo that matches this profile shot very, very closely.
Okay.
Same short hair, body styles, very similar. I could see this very easily being Griseo, but because we don't have a name, because we don't have like even this, we don't even have a quote to go off of. This is all that we know of this character. I do know that when this figure comes up within the trailer, they mentioned something about off-world visitors. And I know that there is stuff going on with like an off-world place with Griseo. But that's kind of the only ties that I have to go off of.
Okay.
So kind of just process of elimination of which one fits best at that point.
Okay.
She's hard to determine because there's nothing to go off of. Yeah, Griseo's great. He's I think one of Panda's like top 3 favorite characters.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's adorable. She can make her paintings come to life. She's great. The way she actually interacts with a lot of people is talking about like finding their color.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, like another connection between her and Mobius that is really cute is she made Mobius a painting.
Yeah.
And like handed it to her, his adorable little girl. And while Mobius at the time and in front of people is like, yeah, whatever. She keeps it in her room. Like like Alicia saw it at one point when she snuck into Mobius's room.
Yeah.
Like it's adorable. that Mobius actually really cares about Griseo.
That's nice. Mm-hmm.
She can see color in a different way. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Very. She's. I don't know a whole lot about her because I have to learn more later.
Yeah.
But she is one of the more interesting ones of the original Flame Chasers.
Would color mean kind of like personality or something, or?
I don't know. That would be actually a question for me, because I actually don't know a whole lot on that one. I think
kind of.
Okay, kind of like that.
Okay. It's like seeing people's true colors, like sort of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I just got flashbacks to trolls. God damn it. But that does make sense.
Yeah.
Stop laughing at me. I hate that movie.
All right, we'll move on.
Move on.
Okay.
Hua, as she's known in the past.
Yep.
Just Hua.
Yep.
12th of the Flame Chasers.
Yep.
Super major character.
Okay.
To the point that saying anything about her is a spoiler.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. She is one of the biggest characters in Honkai Impact. She goes from the previous era into the current era. Remember how I said there's some of them that can live forever?
Mm-hmm.
That's Hua.
Oh.
The only thing I can really say about her concerning her past is she, I think, also originally lived in the Far East. And after one of the eruptions, joined the Flame Chasers. Or not joined the Moths. Was super talented, really good at fighting. She was given the signets of vicissitude. She lived in what was the Far East? Yeah, of the previous era. Yeah, there's literally nothing I can say about her because you learn everything about her.
Okay.
In the story. And it's not just side story stuff. She is main character. So we'll just move on from her.
Yeah.
Onto who she could be, which is also a question.
Okay. Oh, so it's this one. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that image is the one that I was talking about. That is a position that we see Mobius in a few times, even in art, like official art. And this was the one I was originally thinking was Mobius until I learned what I know about Castoris. So because we kind of know who all the other ones are, just kind of basing it off elimination. But on the Xianzhou and in the assignments that you can send out, like in Honkai Star Rail, one of the quotes in those assignments is from a Marshal Hua of one of the Xianzhou ships, who is likely the Fu Hua that we know. Which would make me think that this, since it's supposed to be Flame Chasers, and this would have to be Hua, is not Hua, but another version of her.
Like an alternate version of her.
In a way, that you'll learn about, hopefully. Like I said, I can't say anything about her without it being a major spoiler.
Yeah.
But yes, likely the character that we're going to see is going to be more reference to the other version of Hua. And then the Xianzhou character that we'll end up getting, because that has kind of been leaked, that we do know something about we do have leaks about who Hua is in Star Rail.
Yeah.
And we do have kind of what I think the leaks say, and grain of salt, we don't know. Leaks have said that she might be Fire Abundance.
Okay.
Which is also very funny to people that know So this would be an entirely separate character.
Mm-hmm.
Or not entirely separate, but separate, similar.
Okay. Hmm.
So that's our shortest one, because I can't say anything about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can move on from that.
Yes.
Then we have Partophalis, who is a crowd favorite. She is adorable. She is Cat.
Yes.
She's the 13th of the Flame Chasers.
Mm-hmm.
She is the holder of the Signets of Reverie.
Mm-hmm.
She runs a shop in the Elysian Realm, where she sells stolen goods.
Ah. So she's Aladdin.
Yes. Stolen in the sense that, like, a lot of things were things that people discarded or forgot, and then she's like, oh, who left this here, and takes it.
Oh. So she's like a... What if that was like... Not like dumpster diving, but like... Never mind. Don't worry about it.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes. Partophalis takes that to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
She also says that you can call her Pardo, you can call her Phalis, you can call her anything you want. She'll likely respond to it.
Oh, okay.
She kind of was a dumpster diver, kind of.
Okay.
She grew up on the streets. Actually, I think she was around or in the same area as Sundown Alley with Kalpas and Aponia. Her introduction into the moths and into the mantises was the funniest. Where she found documents that belonged to the moths, and her plan was to take them back to the moths and give them back to them.
Yeah.
And while she was there, take a few things. At the time, they were basically taking volunteers for the Mantis program.
Yeah.
They thought she was a volunteer.
Oh.
So the next thing she knows, she wakes up on a lab table.
Oh, God.
One of the successes of the Mantis experiments.
Oh, wow. That's one way. That's one way to wake up.
She ended up with the cat ears and the tail. She actually has like little claws you can see with her.
So she did
her
it.
hand down there.
So she was human.
She was.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know, she was. Fairly certain. Yeah, since mantis surgery had a high death rate.
Yeah.
It very much did.
Panda.
Yeah, she's, like I said, she is one of largely the favorites
in the
crowd, just because she's just fun.
Yeah.
She helps out everybody that she can. She's a guide. She knows a lot of like secret entrances and little ways through different areas. She's incredibly talented, but she's not a fighter. She says multiple times that she doesn't want to fight anybody and will often run away from fights.
Same.
Not because she's a coward, but because she knows that she'll die.
Okay.
So she's, how do I describe her? That's not just be fun and cat. She's a very complex, in-depth character once you learn about her, which you spend quite a lot of time with her.
Yeah.
In those chapters. So, if we want to click and move on to who she is.
Yep.
She's another one-to-one.
Yes.
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 Literally in, I think even in the, like in her gameplay, she has that same position that Sephira the Fleet-Footed has.
Yeah.
In that shot. And you can tell just by the picture in the corner and then the picture of her in the bottom, like, yeah, it's so obviously her. If people didn't get it at Anaxagrius or at My Day, she was the one that people were like, wait a minute, this is Felis. Are all of these just the Flame Chasers? but she has, obviously you could see same basically design,
Yeah.
ears, the tail, all of that stuff. And fleet-footed would be a very good description of Parnophilis. She is, like I said, she's quick, she's important, she's like, I don't even know how to quite describe.
She's one of the lucky ones.
She treats the rest of the characters. She is very much one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
She goes through a lot, and quite. Oh, actually, I do remember a fun story, which is one of the things I was trying to think of. After she joined the Moths, or quote unquote joined, she was assigned to a unit which wanted her to fight, which she doesn't know how to fight.
Yep.
So she ran.
Yep.
She deserted, but took the uniform with her.
Oh.
When they caught her, they assigned her to another unit under more careful guard. She still managed to escape and took the other uniform with her.
Oh.
And this became a collection for her of trying to get as many of the uniforms as she could.
Did she sell it in the
No.
Okay.
As far as I know, it just became a thing that she's just trying to collect the uniforms.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not much else I can say about her because one of the other things that I read is a heavy spoiler that anyone that's played through the Elysian Realm and the contiguous chapters knows just how I feel. So we can move on to actually the end.
Okay.
Because she is the 13th. She is the last. And next time, we can really start getting into... Hopefully next time we do this, you'll have you'll have started the game, and we can actually talk about the characters a bit.
Yeah.
Because for 3 out of 4 of those, we can talk a lot about who they were before the game started, because it's stuff that is either not super covered in the game, or is only explained in mangas or like extra side stuff that you have to sit there and read for another 15-20 minutes. But out of these ones, Kiana.
Yeah, I can recognize some of them. So that's Kiana. That's May because of this.
Does that literally read May?
No. That says Thunder. So yeah, it kind of gave it away. And then I'm pretty sure that's another version of Bronya or Silverbolt.
That's the base version of Bronya. That is the Bronya that we were with through most of Honkai Impact. Yeah, and then bottom right is like her colorway is very close to Seele, so that's kind of where I was leaning towards. Yep. That is Seele. And then it's just these two that I'm not quite sure about. So the bottom left we talked about. Oh, it's Hua. Yeah. Oh. Okay. That's what I mean. She's one of the main 6. Ah, okay. There are a couple more that I could have put in here, but aren't like... They're largely connected to the story, but aren't like one of the ones that we follow through everything that's going on. Yeah. So that would have been Durandal and Rita. But aside from them, these are the main 6. These are the ones that you spend the most time with in the story. These are the ones that you cry over when anything bad happens. Okay. And yes, the bottom right one is Seele. I should have put a different image on there. There's another image that has another form of her. As in, like, the same image has both of them. Yeah. And it's a black and red-eyed version. Or, like, black outfitted red-eyed version. Oh. So if you've ever seen Sele's ultimate in Star Rail, how she like dashes forward and her eyes turn red. I don't have her, so I haven't. Even in the trial? No, I don't think I did her trial. Oh my god. But yeah, that's kind of her. That's her ultimate. Is that she like puts the scythe behind her and then like dashes forward through fucking who knows where. She's just that fast. Probably through quantum space.
Okay. Hence quantum. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as she's dashing forward, her like body flickers and you see her eyes are red. And that is a reference to Veliona, which is the alternate kind of ish. I know the story, but we'll just say alternate personality of Sele.
Okay. She was one of the first characters that you get. She was the first banner in Star Rail, so I do remember that. I didn't pull for her, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, even in Honkai Impact, she's one of the first ones you get.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about her more because she is obviously already in Star Rail.
Yeah.
She is a major character of Honkai Impact. I have my thoughts, so kind of explaining who I think some of these ones are as far as the main story of Genshin. Kiana has a form that looks very similar to, if you remember back at the very start of Genshin, the goddess that attacks us as we come in.
Yes.
Looks very similar to that. And
yes.
like the cube shit that happens looks very similar to the shit that that version of Kiana does. May is May, we know this.
Yep.
It's largely believed in the community that Bronya, or a version of Bronya, is going to be the Snezhnaya Archon.
Oh yeah, because we haven't been there yet, haven't we?
Yeah, we know nothing about the Tsaritsa.
Yeah.
Other than just kind of what we've been told, but we haven't seen anything about her.
And Child is from there. That is all we know.
Yes. But it's largely believed that she's going to be the Tsaritsa. Sele. So there's another character in Honkai Impact who's known as Sin Mal, who is connected to Bronya and Sele in their backstory.
Yeah.
But I believe only exists in one specific chapter of Honkai Impact, and in the mangas. People have said that they think Sin Mal is supposed to be Farina's, or Farina's supposed to be Sin Mal XP, because they share a similar, like, basically model design. In a way, I can kind of see it, but not really.
Okay.
I think, just based on the, such a stretch. I personally think that Sele is supposed to be Farina. Which I think because of the whole like two personalities thing.
Yep.
One of them being, quote unquote God, and the other one being a human and a naive girl.
Okay.
They share a somewhat similar color palette if you look at that and think of Farina's design.
Yeah.
A lot of the same colors. I think Farina's just a little bit brighter. Yeah, personally, I think because of the whole multiple personality thing and, again, just the color design, I personally think Farina's supposed to be Sele. The middle and the bottom is another major character that has a lot of lore shit going on with her. Her name is Teresa. Which is funny because she's Teresa.
Yeah. The giant cross kind of gave it away.
Yeah, Tatey. We love her. She is actually the leader of the school that Kiana, May, and Bronya go to. She founded the school, and she is what Nahida is based on.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even her, I think her JP and her Chinese VAs are both also the same VAs. I know the JP is.
Yeah.
Tamura Yukari, yeah. Yeah, so Teresa is personally one of my favorite characters. Just because she's she is so important to the story.
Yeah.
And she's one of those ones that, despite other people around her being so obviously stronger, she will still, she commands respect.
Yeah.
The only one here that I don't think has a Genshin XP is Fuhua. Because I've ran it through my head a lot, trying to figure out who she should be, who she could be. There's no one in Genshin that lines up to her.
Oh.
Because, I mean, like, even thinking of some of the other side characters, like Durandal is very similar in Jean is very similar in design to Durandal. Even like their personality is somewhat similar. I need a drink because I've been talking for like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, do you need like just have some water?
Okay, I'm good.
Yep.
That's what I was saying, Mirai, is I think Seele is supposed to be Farina, just because of the like similarities between Seele and Veliona and Farina and Focalor. So that's why I kind of think Seele is supposed to be, or Farina is supposed to be a Seele XP. Even though like their designs aren't the same, or even super similar other than somewhat of their color palette, it's still personality and backstory similar, in my opinion, to Farina and Focalor. Or to Seele and Veliona. But yeah, even thinking of some of the side characters in Honkai Impact, there's some of them that have people that could be called XPs in Genshin. A lot of people wanted to say originally that Zhongli was supposed to be the Su XP, and then Alhaitham came along and was like, no, it's me.
Okay. Yep.
But there's not very many other characters that fit through Honkai Impact. That's one thing I do like about Genshin, is that they have some similar designs with, you know, Yae Miko and Yae Sakura, with
May
and Raiden.
Yeah.
Which is also funny when you think that May and Yae Sakura have a very similar fighting style. And in fact, later in the game, so the Herrscher of Thunder battlesuit that you saw in the like second slide, uses a weapon called the Seven Thunders Narukami, which Narukami is the name of the island that Raiden is on.
Yep.
But she inherited the Seven Thunders Narukami from Yae Sakura, or from Sakura. So there's a very close connection to them there, and in fact, there's a lot of missions where it's like, take a Mei or Sakura battlesuit, because they're just that similar. And then you go into Genshin, and Yae Miko is like very closely tied to the Raiden Shogun. So they're very good about keeping the ties of their characters together. And it's why I have questions about like who some of them are. And kind of why I think that, you know, Bronya is the Tsaritsa.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been at a loss of who Fuhua is supposed to be, unless she comes in later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Flame Chasers. That's my thoughts on the XPs. That's my thoughts on Emphorius, because God, I'm looking forward to that. They have given us 2 teasers now that has only made me more and more excited for it.
Yeah. If I go back, hold on. There we go.
I do not know how you did that.
There you go. But yeah. No, that's...
Yeah, and...
Yeah.
Like I said, when I was talking about the icons and the signets...
Yeah.
Even some of the signets do kind of match, or some of the icons from the wheel in Emphorius kind of match some of the icons from the characters.
Yeah.
And in a way, the way they line up as well.
There's like... Because there's a way... Is it like it's these ones here, isn't it?
Yes.
These ones here and the signets. Because, yeah, there's like...
Because there's like the signet of gold, which if you look the right side, roughly like 2 o'clock, I would say.
Here?
Or no, not 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock here.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is very, like, it looks very similar to a coin, which is what the signet of gold is. If you look at 9 o'clock on the flame chaser signets,
9 o'clock, yep.
That's the signet of
the star,
stars,
which is
if you look,
right like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 10 o'clock one.
10 o'clock, yep.
Really reminds me of the signet of Helix at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock, yep.
So like, there's a lot of them that, and then the signet of Bodhi at.
Is it? It's these ones, isn't it? Wait, no, wait, 5 o'clock. Yeah, these two. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot that I've looked at in here where it's made me think that there are connections to even these symbols and the signets themselves.
Yeah.
And I had a thought at one point of like, you know, they were lining up even to be lined up with the signets, but from this image, the only one that kind of does is Castoris and Mobius.
Yeah.
Because they're both right at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock and...
Yeah.
8
Castoris' crown and then the infinity.
And the infinity, yeah.
But aside from that, they don't line up. I mean, if you kind of think of... like, how they used to do... How some games depict how people used to do trades back in the days, where they'd, like, take out the scales and, like, measure out how much they're getting.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of the signets of Reverie.
And
they're both at roughly 11 o'clock.
Roughly, so.
Yeah. So I can kind of match up some of these, but at the same time, there's other ones that don't. So I don't know if they were going for direct references or if they were just kind of throwing things in there that would basically be the icons of the characters.
Yeah. It's
something that I really hope comes out later as being a thing, so that way my theories are proven true.
Yeah.
But that has to come later. and then the fact that they put Cyrene completely separate from the rest of the crew of Amphorius.
Yeah.
And we know that Elise is extremely special, considering the fact that her signet is the one in the middle. Like, that is one of the biggest things that kind of sets it off that these are the Flame Chasers, is how they're depicting the heroes of Amphorius.
Okay.
The only thing I'm scared about, the Elysian Realm is records of the past, where we learn about the Flame Chasers is in a place where it's all just an archive. We're introducing Remembrance as a playable
Oh. Okay.
It has me scared. I swear we're going to go to Amphorius. We're going to go through all this shit, and then it's going to be like, yeah, no, this place doesn't exist. This is all a giant memory bubble created.
It's just your It's just your imagination.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it has me very worried for what's coming up.
I mean, to be fair, Star Rail kind of plays a lot on like alternate universe kind of things, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did the whole thing where it's like, we're gonna go here, but it actually doesn't exist or it never happened, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually took that route down, like the story and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, they've already proven that they're dark enough.
Oh yeah.
The backstory of Acheron,
yeah,
the backstory of Firefly, like the entirety of the propagation lore,
yeah,
that's pretty fucking dark.
Yeah. I mean, expected for Honkai and stuff, but like, you know. Yeah.
Which does also bring up the thought of May.
Mm.
People try to compare Dr. May from the previous era that was connected to the Flame Chasers with Ruan May. There's not a whole lot of overlap at all. Like, not in design, not in personality. The only thing that there is that they're both geniuses. But you know, where Ruan May is cold and disconnected and like not interested in basically anything outside of her own research.
Yeah.
Dr. May very much was. She was a May through and through in the fact that she was doing everything she could to help humanity.
Yeah.
Which is Ruan May's willing to revive the propagation. We know how bad they were.
Yeah.
That's not helping shit. So, yeah, Ruan May is something that people try to say is an XP, and it doesn't line up. But yeah. That's all I have. Oh wait, there is a name. Saridra.
Oh.
Is the name for the character that I think is supposed to be Griseo.
Ah, okay.
Forgot about that.
Wait, then who's the guy next to Kevin? Oh.
High Silence?
Yeah.
That is the one that I'm thinking is Eden.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we get the shot of like the woman in the whirlpool almost. But that's all that we have of her. And then they don't even give us a full artwork of her.
Okay.
But when you go in order of the way that a lot of them are shown, well, for the most part, it goes in order.
Let me get the actual trailer up. Hold on. That might be easier to explain. If I can figure out where it is.
Hey, that was your man.
Yes, my man. Look, he's here. It should be. Where is it?
Right there on the left.
This one?
Emphoria Saga of
Heroes. Got it. And then if I do this, that should be fine. Ah! If I just do that, so nothing else shows up. Like that, maybe? Yeah, there we go. I won't put the sound through, but yeah. If we go... I went too far.
Even starting from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be like the whole golden threads of fate thing.
Oh yeah, so like here.
Yeah. So, yeah, they are very much instantly hinting at the Flame Chasers from Square One. I forget. Can you turn on the subtitles?
Yeah,
as well?
Of course. There you go.
And then go back to when the symbols start appearing.
Yep.
Yes. That's down the core flames. Three carved heavens and earth. Three wove the threads of fate. Three molded life and three guided calamity's gate. That's something that I've also kind of tried to tie to the Flame Chasers, because that does seem... There's a few of them that I could see referencing some of them. Like the ones that are... The last ones that I mentioned there, like the Destroyers, I could see being like Kevin, Cosma, and Kalpas. So that's something else I've kind of tried to think about and tie in. And it's a little bit of a stretch, but at the same time, I can kind of theorize on it. And then we're just being taught Greek mythology.
Okay.
Age of Gods minutes. The core flames, I'm wondering what the hell those are supposed to be. There's so much that I'm wanting to know that we can't know until this comes out.
I mean, it's not far, so
It's far enough.
It's not far. It's not too far.
Oh, by the way, Aglaya, her English VA.
Yep.
Is the same VA as Gwen Ifen.
Oh, because I know her JP VA is the same as Yelan.
Broke up really bad. I didn't hear that.
I know that her JP VA is Yelan.
Oh no, it's still happening.
Is it? Are you alright? Hold on.
I don't know.
What?
It's Discord.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hopefully it doesn't mess up when you start saying JPVA again.
So her JPVA is Yelan and Genshin. It's the same.
You did break up again right as you went to say the name, but I heard it enough.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Which thing?
Yeah, it's
but
same VA.
Yeah.
As Gwen Ifen in English is the impressive thing.
And three-face messenger. Okay. Yep.
Traversing through myriad doors, bearing tidings from hundreds of worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And Sagras the Foolish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is very much just our introduction to Sue as well.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, in the Sakura Samsara, Yairin was a shrine priestess, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Which is another reason why I think that ties her into being Hyacinth. My Demos. Which is a cool fucking name. Better than My Day. Just part of Fearless.
Yep, pretty much. And this is probably Mobius, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking is Mobius.
Yeah. She's got a bit of a butterfly aesthetic going, though.
Yeah, the butterfly aesthetic made a lot of people think... it's part of what made me think Apponia at first. And then as I started learning and hearing more from leaks about Castoris, it's kind of what's made me shift that. But it's still a toss-up until we know more.
Yeah.
Especially when this is all we have of Hycelins.
Yeah.
So I'm left with a lot of questions, but enough theories to be very excited.
There's a lot of there's a lot of symbolism that you can connect with all the other characters, but it's one of those things where it's when it happens kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's some things that are just too close to not be things.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is the one that I was talking about that is... I could kind of see being Gricio. Gricio was actually my original thought because of all the black stuff coming up out of the ground. And then I started thinking Fuhua, but now that we know that Castoris is probably more likely Gricio, that pushes me back to thinking that one was her.
Oh.
This is the one that I'm thinking it was Cosma. But could also be Kalpus. And that was the one that I was originally thinking was Mobius. And then everyone's...
And then that's Kevin.
The same hairstyle, same stance, same everything. He even takes that stance at some point in Honkai Impact. It's just him. And also, something else I just thought of. Go back to it.
Yep. Oh, I'm too far. Hold on.
Too far. Way too far.
There you go.
Pause it when he raises the sword.
Yep. There you go.
Right there. So, if you think back to... Do you play Kalis or Stel?
I play Stel.
Okay, so... when we started Panaconing... If you're playing Kalis...
Yep.
Or if you're playing Stel, you said that... Acheron says that Stell reminds her of an old comrade that she fought side by side with.
Mm-mm.
If you're playing Kalis, she says that he reminds her of an adversary that she fought against.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Which everybody was saying like, oh, it reminds her of Kiana for Stell and Kevin for Kalis. Because Kalis has a similar design to Kevin.
Yeah.
Like similar hairstyle and like build.
And
even like the coat, if you remember seeing Kevin's design,
yeah,
he has a very similar coat. So very much Kevin designed. And if you think when they get the lance
Kevin designed
Belobog, yeah. If you think when they get the lance from Belobog, that's again the same pose that they take when they have the lance.
I mean, cause isn't there like a thing where like Kevin's weapon in Impact Third is basically the weapon that they use in Star Rail for preservation for the Trailblazer?
It's similar.
Yeah.
So the Judgment of Shamash is a like fucking giant greatsword. Where in Honkai Impact or Honkai Star Rail, it's a lance instead.
Yeah.
The Lance of Preservation. But they are both fire.
Yeah. They're both big.
Yeah, both fucking massive. So there is that kind of tie of the Judgment of Shamash is fire, the Lance is fire.
Yeah.
They can kind of be tied together that way.
Ah.
It's more in common in form with another divine key. Yeah, it's more in common, actually, yeah, with the Abyss Flower, which also is a lance. And the Abyss Flower is basically, it can be used to heal people.
Yeah.
And do many other things. Let's just say they make a reference that I don't know quite a lot about in Honkai Impact about the Seed of Sumeru. And the Tree of Sumeru.
Yep.
So, and that has to do with the Abyss Flower. There's a lot of things that can be kind of tied together with that, but I don't know enough about that entire situation to be able to say much. Need to continue the story.
Yeah.
I need to continue.
You're getting told off for not doing it, are you?
Oh yeah. Getting told off by freaking Lunar and Panda and Rek and Rez and everybody else. Chrysos heirs. I need to look up some of the names in here.
Shall pluck
and like see what they are like.
Wait, shall pluck the god's core flames.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is something that's kind of reminded me of basically what they did with. So part of what forms a Herrscher is a Herrscher gem that's in all of them.
Yeah.
And the Herrscher gems are what are used to make the divine keys. So plucking the core flames and using them to combat basically what's going on is exactly what they did with the Herrscher gems and the divine keys.
I see.
Which is another thing that's been kind of tying together their lore with this lore. And then we cast even ourselves into the flame, which take from that what you will. There's a reason it's called Depression Impact. Let's put it that way. Can I ask you to switch to JP and then play the final section?
JP, okay, yeah, hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
I wish to cry again.
Hold on. Whoops, sorry.
If you just type in JP into the search bar with it, it should.
JPO. There we go.
There it is. And then play the last part with sound.
Oh, you want the last one with sound? Okay, hold on.
Yes. I need to hear her.
Okay. Hold on.
All good. Take your time.
Yeah, it was at the beginning, but yeah. we'll start from here. Cause I actually watched it I watched this trailer in English. I didn't actually watch it in JP yet. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna make us smaller.
And this JPVA, like the performance that they had her do, does slightly remind me of Aponia as well. Which this also has me worried because we know another very large god that has golden blood. It's the Aeon of Destruction.
Oh my god, the Nook!
The Nook. It's another thing that has me worried.
The Nook! The one god I keep praying upon on.
Pray for destruction.
That's how I'm not winning my gachas.
Yeah, seriously. Pray to Shibai.
Exactly, for harmony.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bring everyone together. Others had a tendency of like white birds getting killed in some way.
I think it's because white birds just symbolize purity. Yeah. God. It's bad that I've seen that so many times and I still tear up hearing her voice. She has an effect on you once you play the story, man. See, the thing is, the only reason why it's not really done anything for me is because I know her VA from so many other things. And the only she's the same VA as Armin in Attack on Titan. So so that's kind of where I got her at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, she is. She really is, because she's also Momo in she's also Momo in My Hero Academia. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never seen it.
Yep. Yeah, she's also
right
there.
The main and oh no, don't make me want to play that more.
She's also I've completely forgotten. She's got so many different roles, but they're like huge roles too. She's like she's literally on like the same level as Clorinde's JPVA, literally. Like they are on the same completely same level. Ishikawa Yui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Ishikawa Yui. Who am I thinking of?
Hmm?
Who am I thinking? Who am I? Oh no, that's Raiden's, isn't it? Miyuki Sawashiro.
Yeah, that's Raiden's, yeah.
Yeah.
But like yeah, you know, Marina is like legit the complete same level in terms of like character like range and talent as Ishikawa Yui.
Which is funny too, because Ishikawa Yui is also Stell.
She's Stell, also Clorinde, also who else is she? Actually, no, that's the only two characters that she voices in Koyo.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'd be nice if she voiced somebody in Honkai Impact, but yeah.
I bet you she's going to.
She's probably voiced some like extra people within the game. Oh right, she's 2B.
Yeah, she's 2B. She's Violet Evergarden. She's Fragrance. Yeah, she's Fragrance. She's Mikasa. She's oh man, she's done so much. She's amazing.
Yeah, Yang Yang.
She's Yang Yang as well.
Oh, hey, look, there's your show, Apothecary Diaries.
Yep. She was one of the four women. I forgot what they're called, but she's one of the 4 women, yes.
Yep.
Yep, she's
This Scarm and Arknights, Philia, and Sword Art Online.
Yeah, she's got a whole list going.
God, she's Rappy and Nikke. Which is just immediately taking me back to freaking Kaylee Mills.
Yeah. So she is like literally like Marina and Ishikawa Yui are like top tier when it comes to these sort of games in range. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing her, hopefully eventually in Honkai Impact.
Not hopefully eventually. Eventually.
I can hope. I have to hope.
Eventually.
They haven't added her yet. You would think they would have.
She'll be there. She'll be there. Don't worry. May's VA is also a true legend. Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
She is there. She is like forever. She's like she's done so much, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. This is a long list. Like
she's got a long freaking list. May's yeah.
She's Morgan Le Fay in Fate Grand Order.
She's done a lot.
She's just her.
She's just doing her. She's just doing her, but she's doing some good stuff out there, so I'm not complaining.
I also wanting to see who Kiana's VA. Out of everyone I've looked up, I've never looked up Kiana's VA.
Kiana's VA? Hers is criminal. Oh! Kugimiya Rie. Oh my god, she is iconic. She's super iconic. She's like she's done voice acting for so long. She's like oh my god, what's the thing that I actually like remember her from? She is from
Quinn,
oh yeah, she's Kagura in Gintama. So she's the main girl in Gintama. Yeah.
She actually plays a lot of like small monster characters as well. She's Vesti in Nikkei.
She has a long voice acting history too, so yeah, you'll see a lot of titles with her in it. Damn. Yeah.
That's one thing about Hoyo, they get a lot of big names.
Oh yeah.
God. She's the unknown god in Genshin. Just further proof.
So
probably her.
Yeah.
She's Rise in Persona 4.
Oh, I didn't know she was Lily in Street Fighter. Wait, what?
Oh.
Wow.
Man, if we start going into if we want to start talking VAs, we're gonna be here for a while.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, VAs are cool.
You're telling me.
They're fun. But yeah. But no, she is like iconic. So I'm not surprised that she's I'm not surprised that she's actually Kiana, so
I mean, I'm back in 2013 and still scrolling.
And
that's the fact that she's voiced the same characters for so long is truly a testament to how good she is, because you would think after a while they're like, okay, your voice is starting to not hit those anymore, and you might want to see about changing it out. But like, I'm still seeing Happy from Fairy Tail from fucking 2012.
Yep. That's it. But no, yeah.
All right.
But no. That was a lot. That was a lot, but I managed. I will lie to you, it was very easy to go through as well, so it was very easy to take in.
That's good.
I would like, in my brain I have like a basic understanding of everybody. Of course, I'm not gonna get all of the deep lore like and stuff like that, but at least like now I know, once I see the character and like try and connect them to like Impact Third, I think I would have like a good idea visually as to who's who, basically.
And even then, like you have access to this, so you can check it out anytime.
Exactly. Nice.
Yeah.
And there you go. Goku's JPVA. I mean, a lot of the classic like animes and stuff, like Naruto and like One Piece and stuff like that, they're all getting like, they're all getting to that point where like they're gonna decide not to do any more afterwards.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
All right, well, I have food ready downstairs.
Yes, please go get food.
Going to bed.
I am probably gonna go play Marvel Rivals a little bit and then go to bed. Yes. I got to play Marvel Rivals today for the first time, okay? I finally had time to play the game, and now I want to play the game slightly more.
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not.
It's actually quite fun. I won't lie. It's actually quite fun.
I'm not like huge on hero shooters. I barely enjoyed Overwatch. Like
it's
you know,
it's not like it's not Overwatch, but
it's the style.
It's
the genre. It's
yeah,
a hero shooter.
but it's a nice game. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm coming into this game as like a very early like MCU fan. So like I'm getting the Easter eggs and stuff, and I'm kind of like freaking out about those. But like other than that, in terms of like the gameplay and stuff, depending on who you're actually playing, it's actually quite fun. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's part of another reason why I'm not super excited. I'm not a superhero person.
Yeah.
The most I liked the Doctor Strange, like the first movie, because that was just funny and interesting and a good movie. I like the first two Guardians of the Galaxies, but then they start tying it in with the rest of the MCU, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore because this is all this bigger plot that they're trying to tie in.
Yeah.
I liked Deadpool, which all three of them have been really good, but
yeah,
the next one they might start trying to tie that into the MCU as well. I'm just like, I don't want standalone movies. They don't need to be an entire fucking 40 movie conglomeration of all this shit that's going on. Like,
yeah,
just make single movies. They can tie in once in a while, but that's my biggest issue. Yes, Deadpool said it best in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes.
I still need to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, it's good. It's
I
really
haven't watched a proper Marvel film since Shang-Li, so yeah.
We need to sit down and watch that at some point. It's a good fucking movie. It's on Disney Plus now.
I don't have Disney Plus.
Oh shit.
I only have Netflix.
Shit. Well, we know someone who does. Sure.
We'll see. But yes. Please go get food. I know you've been around for a very long time now.
Yes. And I will, yeah, thank you, Rick. Yes, we should set up a time to watch that at some point.
Yes.
It's a very good movie.
And then play game after. Hey.
Yes, probably Stranova.
No. We have to play Rivals. What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean no? Oh, okay.
I don't like hero shooters. I'm sorry.
Fine. Okay. But yeah.
I'm gonna get off here.
Yes, of course. Go get food, and thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it, honestly. It was really interesting to listen to as well. But yes, thank you so much. Go get food.
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
Get to sleep soon.
I will. Don't worry about it.
You were up until freaking a long time, like 4 a.m. or something like that.
Oh, for the Game Awards, that was fine. That was fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. And yeah, that was it. Honestly, like super interesting. Like I know, like there's like a lot of lore that goes through, but yeah, I find this sort of things interesting. I also love listening to people talk about things that they love too. So really cool. I really appreciate it, honestly. It's always very interesting. Yes. But no. Yes. I'm gonna head off too, guys. Hopefully there wasn't too much of an overload for you guys as well. I am gonna head off now. But before we head off, I'm actually gonna raid Rez's stream because he's doing his birthday stream at the moment. I know he's literally about to go on break too, so I gotta raid him really quickly. I gotta rate him really quickly. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. If I can figure out how to do it. There you go. If we just spam him with this. There you go. Go spam him with that, and as I redirect you guys, I know he's literally about to go on break too because he's already been streaming for a really long time. But yeah, if you go spam him with that, and just I'll be there with you guys as well. But yeah, I'm gonna redirect you guys to his stream. I'm pretty sure he's about to go on break too. So yeah, Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here with me. Thank you so much for new subs. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much for keeping chat rolling. And thank you so much for using reactions, guys, as well. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you guys tomorrow when I play more games. Yeah. それでは皆さんお疲れ様です。またねー。